Hey guys, Commentary here with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to talk about if the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus will be useless after iOS 16 comes out. Now, Apple just released the beta version of iOS 16 and it's going to be public come in September, October when the new iPhone is released. And we're going to see iOS 16 being updated for iPhone 8 and above, and unfortunately the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus and even the 6 and the first generation of the SE will no longer get this update, and that's a big surprise considering the iPhone 6s here was able to get iOS 15 when we didn't really think it was gonna get it. So it was supported for 6 years, but then the iPhone 7, which was released back in 2016 now of September, it's only getting 5 updates. So not really sure why Apple didn't want iPhone 7, which seems like it's capable of getting of iOS 16, will not be getting iOS 16, which is a big surprise to a lot of people, and rightfully so. But does that make the phone useless? Well, let's really talk about what does a big iOS update mean for the phone. Of course, when you update a phone to the latest iOS, you get all the features that come with it, all the new features and security bugs and things that Apple have fixed. But that doesn't mean the iPhone is obsolete on an older version of it. For example, this iPhone 7 that we have, if we go into settings here, you'll be surprised to know that this phone we did not upgrade to iOS 15. It's on iOS 14, and all the apps here that we have are working perfectly fine. And that's going to be the case when you have a major update, is that apps still will work and the phone still will work fully functional on older version of iOS. Now, how old? Now, you don't want to be too old, so iOS 14, even 13 works fine. Even if you have it on 12, remember the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus were originally on iOS 10. Of course, iOS 10 and 11 and even 12 to a degree, most apps aren't supported, but doesn't mean that you can't run on it. Things like calling and texting will be perfectly fine. Even for browsing, you won't have any issue. As you can see on iOS 14, and matter of fact, works pretty much the same for iOS 15 iPhone 7. So upgrading doesn't make sense. Even to iOS 15, not really. As you can see, sometimes Apple look for update, which even then you'll be able to upgrade it and update the app without any issues after you, of course, sign in here into Apple ID. So what's going to happen is when iOS 16 comes out, of course, the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus won't make the cut, but that doesn't mean the phone is going to be useless. You can still use the phone perfectly fine for at least 2 more years, we would say. And the reason why we're saying 2 more years is if you take a look at the iPhone 6 now, the iPhone 6 was a huge disappointment because it didn't get update past iOS 12. It does occasionally get security updates, which if we go into software update, you'll notice here there's an update for the security update, and which Apple still supports iOS 12 to give the update. And as you can see here, the phone works perfectly fine. Now, it's not the fastest phone out there, but you can still pretty much do most stuff you can do on a newer phone. Simply is just slower because of outdated software in comparison to the hardware. And as you'll see on iOS 12, this iPhone 6, some apps started to slow down, and some of the newer apps aren't supported. They require at least iOS 13 and above, and that kind of happens as it's a 3-year-old iOS, and 16 coming into play. 12 might be phasing out to where Apple doesn't support any longer the security update. So with the iPhone 7, what's going to happen is for the next 2 years, it's going to be perfectly fine. You're going to get security update for iOS 14 if you're on that. Most likely you might be already on iOS 15, which the phone can get iOS 15. It'll be supported. It will get the security updates, and the phone will be fully functional. So this phone, the reason why it will be pretty good for a first beginner phone for maybe a child or someone looking to really get an inexpensive iPhone but still get most of the benefit out of iPhone, you can pretty much get this phone around $60-$70 at a minimum if you're buying a pre-owned, even a little bit less depending on where you find it. And the phone works perfectly fine. As you can see here, anything that we opened up works perfectly fine without any issues. So we want to hear from you guys. What's your thought on iOS 16 and the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus not being supported? And if you are using iPhone 7 or any other phones on iOS 15, how your experience has been. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.